Here I am at Otsuo Beach, and I want to give you a little tour around to show you what you can do here. First of all, the drive-in, I already recorded that. Here's how you get into Otsuo by driving. And now that we are at the entrance of the beach, like this, then you probably are wondering how to get to the tank, right? So the tank is actually not very close to where we park. The tank is pretty far that way, close to those rocks that you may be able to see somewhere around there. It's actually a little bit of a walk away. It will probably take you about 10 minutes to walk there. So I'm gonna go ahead and walk there now and talk a little bit more about safety. So first of all, remember that Kinmen was the site of battles on the beaches, and the Kinmen government has done a great job of cleaning up things like mines and so on, so you don't have to worry about that. But they did put in broken glass in the rocks or concrete in some locations to try to slow an invasion on the beach, right? Watch your feet. If you're going over some rocks or concrete, there may still be some pieces of broken glass sticking up. So make sure you don't go barefoot on those areas. Always wear some thick sandals or some shoes. Now, I personally think that the beaches in Kinmen are lovely. They're usually nice, soft, sandy beaches like this one, but I recommend wearing flip-flops and not going completely barefoot, just because you don't know what might have washed up in the water. Also, like I mentioned, watch your step when it's dark. Use your phone's flashlight or a small light to look where you're going, just to be extra careful. Now, don't try to flash your light at the waves where the blue tears might be. Trust me, flashing a light at the waves is not gonna help you see the blue tears any better. And in fact, it's gonna make other people who are trying to take pictures of it a little bit upset, because they'll see your light flashing in their picture. Just keep your light down by your feet and walk safely. Also, there will be mosquitoes in the summertime, so put on a little bit of mosquito repellent if you are especially prone to getting bitten. Other than that, some people may wonder, are there ghosts in Kinmen? Now, I can't confirm one way or the other whether there are ghosts or not. I've never had a ghost experience myself. I've heard other people share ghost stories. I mean, I can't say whether they had that experience or not, but I personally think that it's not dangerous down by the beaches. I wouldn't really go alone. If you are the kind of person that you sense spiritual things very easily, or you are nervous about that, then I would make sure you just go with some friends to feel extra comfortable. Okay, so I'm almost halfway to the tank now. It's just down that way. And let's talk for a minute about respect. Of course, this is a home for many people, including little crabs like this. So as you can see, there's a very special and maybe delicate ecosystem on the beaches. So try not to pick the flowers or damage the sand dunes too much. But other than that, of course, there are a lot of local Kinmenese people who make their lifestyle around the water. The ports are actual working ports, of course. There are lots of boats coming in and out. However, I'm not trying to discourage you from going out and enjoying these areas. Of course, they're here for all of us to enjoy. Just try not to be too loud if there are people living nearby. And of course, don't touch any fishing equipment or nets. All right, so we're just about to the tank. Now, here it is over here. Can you see it? I know, it's really hard to see, isn't it? It's right up against these rocks. So let me go ahead and speed up to show you where it is. Awesome, fantastic, we made it. Just keep walking all the way until you hit this ridge of concrete and rocks. Trust me, you won't be able to go any further without hitting this wall. So you'll know that's where the tank is. you have to know that the tank does get underwater, as you can see here, when the tide is high. Right now, it's about like low to mid tide, so the water is far out there, but it will come all the way up here and cover the tank eventually. So if you're going at the highest tide, you probably won't be able to get close to the tank. Okay, great. So now that's what to do at Otsuo. I'm going to go to Chenggong Beach and Xinhu this evening to show you how to navigate around those areas too. But for now, as I walk back, let me tell you about some other options for seeing the blue tiers. These days, there are some boat tours that you can take. Now, I've heard that it isn't always guaranteed that you will see the blue tiers on these tours, but I think you do have a lot better chance. First of all, the tiers are usually floating out there a little bit off of the coast, and those boats can just go straight to them, and you will see brilliant displays of the tiers in the wake of the boat. So that's a really good option to help guarantee that you will see the tiers. Another option is to visit a port or harbor. Now, the best one for this is Xinhu, in my opinion. That's where a lot of people go to kind of visit the corners of the harbor where some of the blue tiers have collected, and then they will dump some water in to try to make the blue tiers glow. That's a good way if you can't see the blue tiers in the waves, at least you can possibly see a little bit of it there. Now, it's important, don't throw anything else into the water. Just dumping water back into the harbor is okay. And of course, don't go in the water yourself. You will be fined. Okay, so I'm gonna head back to my car and head to those other locations this evening. I'll see you there in just a second. Okay, it's later in the day and I'm here at Chenggong Beach. So I will show you very quickly how to get here. It's not exactly the place you might expect on the map. There's another way to get into the beach that you have to go through a very narrow road and a hill down that way. But for most people, we come down around this hill and then you'll see a little road off to the side and you'll end up at a parking lot like this. And this is a great place to stay because it has bathrooms and places to wash your feet, and it has very nice, easy access to the water. So let me show you around. Right over here, this is where most people like to watch the blue tiers from. But I have some recommendations for some special places you can check. There's a boardwalk down this way. So if you keep going along this pathway, don't be scared. At night you will see some of these openings with guns pointing out of them. They look kind of scary in the dark, but it's just part of the history. And over here, this is the side view of the beach, and this can be a great place to view the blue tiers from because you can see the waves actually coming across the beach. So I really like watching from here. If you go a little bit further down this way, you will come to a rocky point. Now up here, you have to be careful because there are some of those broken bottles and broken glass that I was telling you about. They have cleared most of them so that they are kind of broken down and not very sharp anymore. But please wear shoes and do be careful walking around on these rocks. From this pathway that we came up, you might also want to try going down to the left. Now this direction heads out to where the other access to Chenggong Beach is. So be careful along here. As usual, the rocks are a little bit uneven, so watch your step. There may be blue tiers over in this direction. You can check and just see if you can find any blue tiers over on this side. All right, one more location to go. I want to show you Xinhu so that you know how to get down to the harbor and which parts of the harbor to check for the tiers. Let's head there now. All right, we're here at Xinhu Port, and as you can see, there's the port behind me, and I'll show you around there very quickly. But to this side, I just have to show you this beautiful sunset. So the way that I got to this side of the harbor is I went down the hill. Now be careful going down that hill, it's really steep. Then you will come to a big wall. At that wall, I usually take the right, and that's how we ended up. Out here, there's a parking lot, and there's all of the right side of the harbor here. Now, the places that people usually look for tiers in the harbor are in the corners. So that would be anywhere, let's say, over in this corner. I know some people will check sometimes in the water down around these boats. And then the other place they will usually check is that far corner over there. And I'll show you that corner in just a second, but there's one other place that I want to show you while we're on this side, and that's over here. And over here we have these tunnels actually that have been closed up. But some people will come here still to go fishing, and in general, it's just a very nice, relaxing place to come and listen to the water, and you can check to see if you could see blue tiers from this coastline. I think for my part, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the sunset right from here. Oh, one other thing I have to tell you about this location. Don't get scared in the night if you see one of these. There are goats that are kind of kept in the community up the hill here, and they happen to be black goats, so just don't feel like you're seeing some kind of demon or something like that climbing up the cliffs. And also, best not to get close to them. I don't know if they are aggressive or if they would try to run into you, but you'll be safe on the boardwalk. It's totally safe up here. You know, I wanted to film most of this video during the daytime so that I could show you my favorite locations and how to get to them safely. But in the process, I think I've demonstrated how beautiful Kinmen is. And I just thought I could take a moment to say, I hope you get a chance to see the blue tiers, but if you don't, at least I hope you can plan a trip where you can relax and enjoy all there is to see and do in Kinmen, whether it's watching the sunset or going to the historical monuments or eating some of the local food. Just enjoy your trip and enjoy the vacation, and hopefully, following these guidelines, maybe you can even catch the blue tiers. All right, so there are a last couple locations that I want to show you that you can check for the tiers. One is the other side of the harbor, which is basically where people like to pour water in and see if they can get the tiers to glow. And then on the other side, a little bit farther down, there's a nice soft sandy beach where a lot of people also like to try to check for the blue tiers. And I've had some of my best success at that beach. So that'll be the place where we finish up. Okay, so here we are on the other side of the harbor, and a lot of people will usually be gathering around this corner here. Now, I want to remind you again that this is a fully operational harbor, and so please do not interfere with any of the equipment or boats or anything, but a lot of people will try to look around this corner. Usually there will be a lot of people gathered around, and they will be checking to see if you can see the flashes, so people will be dumping water in. Now, how do you get water? Be very careful, honestly. A lot of people go down those little stairways to dip down and get water from there. I don't really like that approach. Some people have put a bucket with a rope attached so that you can drop the bucket in and then pull up some water, but I'm not sure where there may be a bucket, so you would have to check the Facebook group or perhaps bring your own bucket if you really want to be that prepared. Okay, so there's one last place. This is my favorite. If we follow the harbor all the way down this road, it will actually curve around, and down to that side there's a beach that is one of the best places to chase blue tiers. Let me show you where it is. All right, here we are. This is the little road that goes out to that kind of watchtower down there. If you have seen my last year's Blue Tears video, you might know that this is where I did a lot of my filming, right here. And this is the beach where I got most of that footage from last year. And it's a very nice beach, very easy to get to. There's some nice stairs over here. It's a soft, sandy beach. It's so relaxing here. It's honestly just a great place to relax and listen to the waves. But this beach is often one of the places that I will check for the blue tears coming in. While you're here, don't forget to check out the really cool painted watchtower or fortress or whatever it is. And this is also the place that a lot of people will take pictures along a long line of these concrete coastal barriers. Just if you do come here to take pictures or explore, make sure you watch your step. By the way, you might be wondering, how soon can you start chasing the tears after the sun has gone down? I mean, do they start appearing as soon as it starts getting dark? Now, the interesting thing about the blue tears is they do have an internal clock. Even though they're very small little creatures, they only glow during the nighttime. But in my experience, they do start glowing even right after sunset. I've been able to see them with maybe just half an hour after sunset. But keep in mind that it will be still kind of bright and it might be kind of difficult to see them. So I usually recommend maybe like an hour after sunset is a perfectly good time to start chasing for them. All right, well, I think that's about everything I wanted to share for this video. Two last facts, okay? One, are the blue tears toxic? Now, some of the blue tears family of little organisms are actually toxic and you don't want to touch them. Thankfully, the ones around Taiwan, as far as I know, they are okay. If you do touch them, I've held them before, they just feel a little bit ticklish or itchy or something. I would just be a little bit careful. There are a lot of obviously living things in the ocean, bacteria and so on. Just make sure you wash yourself carefully if you get into the water at all. Second is, if you do step into the water, just realize that the ocean is powerful and it has those currents that pull backwards. So I don't go ever above my ankles in the water, because if you start going higher and higher up on your knees, you'd be surprised how much power the water has to pull you back. If you have any other questions about chasing the tears, feel free to leave them as a comment to this video. And please feel free to share this with your friends to let them know how they can safely chase the tears. With that, I wish you all the best success and safety. And if you do find the blue tears, feel free to post those pictures online, share it with the world, and we can all enjoy the beauty of the blue tears together. You know, it's funny, I was just crouching there, closing out the video, because I was not going to expect to see the blue tears. But as I was looking at the footage, I noticed, oh, the blue tears showed up. So I guess we might get a little bit of blue tears to close out this video. Well, it's not too strong so far, but these are the right kind of conditions that you would want to chase the blue tears. The tide is coming in and the waves are not too strong, but they are breaking enough to make the blue tears appear. And it's comfortable weather. I'm in short sleeves and I'm happy. It's a beautiful night. These are the kind of nights where I'll just spend hours.